Hey YouTube, so today I'm going to be talking about temperature of enclosures because I realized that I didn't really talk about temperature in any of my other videos that I've made so far. So I'm just going to address temperature in general because it's a pretty general thing for isopods and temps. By the way, these are white skulls, and then there's also some ivories in here as well. You want your isopods to be in the 70s degree range. So they can go colder and they can go a little bit hotter, but I would say, if you can keep your environment in the mid 70s, then you're pretty golden. If you go lower than 70s, like when I first had pods, I had 6 or 7 enclosures. It was in my living room so that way I could see them all the time. And it was during the fall and winter, and so it would get really cold, and I was like, oh man, I don't want them to get too cold that they die. So I had a heater that would kick on, like a portable heater that would heat the area they were in if it reached a certain temperature. So I did that for a while, and then I read that you want them to be in the 70s, because I was like, why aren't my isopods really breeding? Like, I'm not really seeing any babies. And that's because the temperature was too cold for them. So I moved them into my office, which is now my bug room / office, and I added a heated rug. And so during the winter, I closed up the room. I leave it a crack, like the door cracked a little bit, just so there is some air flow. But I also have a air purifier that helps with the airflow as well. So I have the heated rug, and I have that set so that it keeps the room in the 70s. So all year long, my office bug room stays in the mid 70s. Sometimes it'll go a little lower, and then sometimes it'll go a little bit higher, but then I just kind of adjust accordingly. So I'll either turn the rug off, or I'll turn the air purifier on higher, or I'll open up the vent to allow more air, like cooler air in. But yeah, that's how I've solved this problem of the temperature, because you generally want them to be in the 70s. But like I said, the more hardy the species, so our magic potions, for example, are very hardy, which I've been able to let those guys survive in the gecko enclosure when we lost power in the winter. They were in the 50-degree weather. Fortunately, I was able to get my gecko out and put it in a temporary enclosure and put it in a heated area. But the larger enclosure that the gecko is generally in is too big to move. And so I was like, well, if the isopods die off, they die off. But the magic potion survived. The bottom of that enclosure generally stays in the mid to upper 60s anyway. And my magic potions, they're producing, but they're not producing nearly as fast as the potions that are in the office with the warmer temperature. So yeah, that's pretty much it about temperature and isopods. That's your target goal, anywhere within the 70s. 60s, you're kind of risking it, especially if you have higher end pods like these guys. These guys are pretty finicky in and of itself. Like, the enclosure for these is not your traditional enclosure. You have to have cross ventilation, but I'll do a video on these at some point. And then if you get too hot, you're also likely to fry them. So they can get too hot as well. So the duckies like it hot because they come from Thailand, which is hot and muggy. So they can survive a little bit warmer of a temperature, like the 80s. Don't want them too hot either, because they will die. So 70s is what your target should be for all of your pods, because that's a general rule of thumb. Just like humans, you can have short weather in the 70s and be good to go. Not too hot, not too cold. Generally. That's all I have for temp. Once again, I guess I'm sorry for not including it in any of my other enclosure videos, but that's why I'm just making this general video. And if you like these guys, I will be making a video on them, because their enclosure is definitely a lot different than any other isopod enclosure you'll have, just because these guys are generally found in the trees. So, yeah, these are my favorite, or one of my favorites. I love the white skulls, which are these black and white guys. And then the white guys, pure white guys, are called the ivories. But the white skulls are just so cool. So yeah, let me know what questions you have down below if you have any on temperature. I'll link the heated rug that I have, which is this. So it's just a heated rug. Let me zoom out so you can see. It's a little messy. Yeah, so I just, in my office, and then I have it set to temperature, and then there's the air purifier that helps move air around because I haven't put in a fan up above. So, you want to get air circulated, so that helps air circulate, and then the heated rug helps the room stay hot during the winter, and then also partially during the summer. Like some nights have been actually kind of cool, so I will turn the rug on during the nighttime. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments, any feedback as well for these videos. And if you want to see more cool isopod shots, kind of like what I was doing earlier, maybe just make videos of isopods being isopods, then let me know, because I could definitely make those videos if you're interested. Just videos of isopods moving around and put it to some music, I guess. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.